Hello, welcome to Afternoon Adventures with the Chesapeake Public Library. My name is Miss Hannah. I work at the Greenbrier branch, and today we are going to be talking all about you. We're going to talk about what makes you unique. That's a fun word, isn't it? It means special. So today we're going to focus on how you are special. What makes you a wonderful person? All the things, all the parts that come together to make you who you are. And in doing so, it makes you different from everybody else. So you're unique. This is a great time to talk to your family and your loved ones about what makes them special and unique as well. You can talk to your family that you live with. You can talk to your faraway family on the phone or maybe even do a video call. And think of all the things that make your loved ones special. So today's books, we have Only One You, Spork, which is lots of fun, and Last Stop on Market Street, which is going to talk about how a city looks different when you go to different parts of it. And my friend Miss Joanne is going to come in for craft time. And today we're going to be making a craft that is unique to you. It is the word me. Can you see that? M-E, me. And Miss Joanne decorated her sample craft to reflect all the things that make her special and unique. So when you come to the Greenbrier branch to pick up your craft supplies, we'll have all the things that you can pick from to make your craft look special and different just like you. Let's get started. Only One You by Linda Krantz. It's time, Papa said. I think it is, Mama agreed. Time for what? Adri asked. Papa's voice softened. To share some wisdom. Always be on the lookout for a new friend. Look for beauty wherever you are and keep the memory of it with you. Blend in when you need to. Stand out when you have the chance. Find your own way. You don't have to follow the crowd. Know when to speak and know when to listen. No matter how you look at it, there is so much to discover. If you make a wrong turn, circle back. If something gets in your way, move around it. Set aside some quiet time to relax and reflect every day. Appreciate art. It's all around you. Make wishes on the stars in the nighttime sky. Thank you for listening, Mama said. We hope you will remember. Papa winked and whispered, we know this is a lot for you to think about. Adri did a backward somersault and smiled. He was excited to go out into the world with what he had just learned. Wait for me, he shouted to his friends. Before he swam away, he turned back to his parents and said, I will remember. Mama kissed Audrey on the top of his head. There's only one you in this great big world, she said. Make it a better place. The end. Spork by Kyo McClear, illustrated by Isabel Arsenault. Spork was neither spoon nor fork, but a bit of both. He had a mom and a dad who both thought he was perfect just the way he was. But Spork stuck out. In his kitchen, forks were forks and spoons were spoons. Cutlery customs were followed closely. Mixing was uncommon. Naturally, there were rule breakers, knives who loved chopsticks, tongs who married forks, but such families were unusual. One day, after the billionth time he was asked, "What are you anyway?" and the zillionth time he was passed over when the table was being set, Spork sighed and thought, it must be easier to be a single thing. And he decided he'd try to pick just one thing to be. He thought he should start by fixing his head. He put on a bowler hat to look more spoonish, but the forks thought he was too round. Then he made a paper crown to look more forkish, but the spoons thought he was too pointy. Let's try that again. Then he made a paper crown to look more forkish, but the spoons thought he was too pointy. Spork wondered if there were other lonely creatures out there with no matching kind who never got to be chosen at the table. At dinner time, he watched from the drawer while the spoons played pea hockey and skillfully balanced boiled eggs. He sat off to the side while the forks raked fancy patterns in the mashed potatoes and twirled noodles around in complicated circles like rhythmic gymnasts. And at the end of this and every other meal, Spork looked on while the others enjoyed a super bubbly bath in the sink. Until one morning, a messy thing arrived. This messy thing had obviously never heard of cutlery customs or table manners. No, this messy thing smeared and spilled and flung and clumped and dripped without a care. "Wait," said the forks, but the messy thing did not wait. "Careful," said the spoons, but the messy thing was not careful. "Help," said the forks, while the messy thing continued to slop and splatter. "Quick," said the spoons. Now, a fork may be good for poking and picking, and a spoon may be fine for scooping and stirring. But this messy thing, with its slurpy and clumpy half-finished food bits, needed something else. Something that could do all sorts of things at once. Something flexible and easy to hold. Something that was neither spoon nor fork, but a bit of both. That's when Spork landed. The messy thing saw Spork and immediately stopped and gurgled. It grabbed Spork and held him motionless in its fist. It tapped him once and let out a cheerful shriek. It wagged Spork excitedly up and down. And that's how Spork finally and happily found his way to the table. The end. Last stop on Market Street. Words by Matt de la Pena. Pictures by Christian Robinson. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain. which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire, and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact. Their noses, too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in back. "Sure wish I had one of those things," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You got the real live thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song?" CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. "To feel the magic of music," the blind man whispered, "I like to close my eyes." Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves. He saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. "Last stop on Market Street," Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. "How come it's always so dirty over here?" She smiled and pointed to the sky. "Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful." CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, "I'm glad we came." He thought his Nana might laugh her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now, come on." The end.
Hi everybody, this is Miss Joanne, and I'm going to show you how to do our craft today that is celebrating you and all about you. Okay, so when we showed you before, this is how the first sheet's going to look. So that's where it's got our big M, and this side's got that E, so where it says me. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when you get it. And then I'm going to show you again. Right now on mine, I just found newspaper. I found magazine printouts. I found some ice cream because I really love ice cream. And I love to read books. And of course I work at the library. So it's a good thing I love to read books, isn't it? I love horses and I really love doing crafts. So this is really fun for me to do and to have you guys do all this. I'm a mom, so I found words that say mother, and I really love green, so I said, oh, I'll put some green on here. I love roses, and I love to read. So this one is mine, but when you come to Greenbrier Library and pick this up, we're going to have other things for you to have also. We may have some shredded paper that you can put on there, and maybe some pom-poms, and maybe you can find buttons or other things at home that you can put on your me that makes it special and makes it all about you. All right, so don't forget to come to Greenbrier and pick up your craft supplies, and thanks. All right, bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed the books we read together today. Come into your local library to check out more or go online for our e-resources.